Welcome to Mind Tricks. I am your host, Isreal Pacoso. We are tuning live from St. Louis, Missouri. This is a podcast where we talk about mind tricks, how the religion started, what's its purpose, and how it affects you. We also talk about conspiracy theories, ancient studies, and spirituality. So today's guest is, can you tell them your name and where you tuning from on the earth?
All right. My name is Nysut. I'm known affectionately on IG as Hayokorn Sahel. Life is easy, and also I'm tuning in from Chicago. The Windy City. Hey, welcome. Let's get started. You already know.
Okay, now I want to give you my introduction to religion. My introduction. Okay, growing up, my mother was a Christian. So she forced Christianity on us in a way. Not saying it was a bad thing, because that's where it started, like for us, like knowing about the creator. That was my introduction of, that's how I found out about God. So with that being said, I grew up in the church, and as I was growing up in the church, the pastor used to always tell me that I was a prophet. She used to always say, you was a prophet, you're a prophet, you're a seer. And I got this Christianity thing down packed, and I used to go around, talking about Jesus and everything, right? But it got to a point where it was like, I knew it was more to it than this. So I had to start learning more. So as I learned more, I was introduced to Islam through a family member. So once my family member introduced me to Islam, I started, learning about Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and all the other prophets, I was learning about it. But I also thought, like, wow, maybe it's something more to it than this. So that's when I was like, okay, now I need to study. I need to study myself approved. And then that's when I started learning about the ancient studies, esoteric knowledge. How to build your temple, and the pineal gland and things like that. So that was my introduction. Now I want to ask you, what was your introduction, and can you tell me, if you know, how did religion start?
All right. Well, okay. All right, everyone. I'm gonna give you my introduction on how I got started on my journey and how I discovered that religion was a fallacy. Right. Pretty much. Okay. So, however, my mother, let's go back to Chicago. My mother never forced me to go to church. She never forced us to go to church. Although my mother and my family was very spiritual people, because my aunt grandma, she had churches in Mississippi. All right. But what happened is, when my grandma had churches in Mississippi, she was not really practicing Christianity. She was practicing hoodoo in Mississippi. But the pacoso, which is the Caucasian, said if she wanted to keep her churches, right, she had to stop practicing her way of life, her ancient ancestral culture, right? So what he offered her a deal, right, for land. My grandma gave her about 100 acres of land to get more churches, right? But the deal was to shut down that hoodoo, all right, to shut down the natural nature's forces, all right, practicing natural nature, right? So my grandma, she bargained with them back in the South back in the day, and she did that. But what she didn't tell them is that she was still practicing hoodoo under the auspices of Christianity, all right? So when they left the South and they went to Chicago, they still brought in the practices. My mom told me that they were still practicing. They was doing seance, and they was doing their circles and stuff like that, and they was calling in the ancestors, right, under the auspices of Christianity. So I say all that to say, a lot of people still practicing our way of life under Christianity. They just hiding it. They just blind it. And the reason why they did that, the way my mother explained it to me, is to protect us, right? Because they was killing us by the thousands. So that was the only way they could protect us, is by hiding our signs, our sacred spiritual systems, right? So my mother never forced me into Christianity, right? She always told me this when I was young. She said, son, it's nothing but a comic book. It's a play, all right? She said, and we the characters in the comic book. We actually acting that book out. You know what I'm saying? So my mother told me those are not real people, but she said the force behind it is real, all right? But the actual images are not real. You know what I'm saying? So I took that with me as I grew, right? I think as I aged, my mother, she kind of got like a little nervous. She started getting nervous. So, because, a lot of our family members had to depend on their system. They collected food stamps from them, Social Security. They depended on them so much that they dare not to go against them in their system. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people are still stuck in those systems and stuff like that, from my understanding or understanding, because they depended on them economically and financially. So how I got started about the age of 22. All right. I went into the church. I got baptized in 2011. All right. And I became a youth minister. All right. So in the process of me coming to youth minister, I changed my whole life. You know, talking about I came from running the strip clubs, chasing women, you know, doing all type of crazy stuff. Right. I came out of that wild life, went into the church, and then I became super spiritual. So I started reading a lot. I read the Bible every day, nonstop. All right. First time I got baptized, I fasted like 90 days. And next thing you know, books started coming to me. I started praying, and I started asking the Most High at that time for knowledge and wisdom. So I got more knowledge and more wisdom. All right. I got my knowledge first, and then I got the wisdom later. All right. That's how it came. Then I run into this brother from the Moorish Science Temple. All right. So then he started telling me about knowledge and how we was Moors and different things of that nature. I'm like, man, what's this about? You know, I ain't never heard that. That's new. Never heard that. All right. So then he gave me the book to Circle 7. He told me order the book to Circle 7. I get the book to Circle 7. He told me to get the Unabridged Dictionary, Black Laws Dictionary, get all these books, get a Bible Concordance. So when I study the Bible, I know what I'm reading and how to dissect every word. Right. Also, he told me to get a map. This is what you have to do. I got a map. So I started tracing the places they was talking about in the Bible back to the original place. So I said, oh, Damascus is over here. Galileo is over here. Galileo is over here. Right. This place is over there. Right. The Mediterranean Sea is over here. The Black Sea is over there. So I started putting them in places. So, oh, these are real places. They exist on the planet. All right. So then I furthered my research, and then I started studying the village of those people. And then come to find out that those people, and they wasn't Nagaru people. They wasn't black people. They wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? They was, you know, more pale people in appearances. All right. Middle Easterners. Right. So after doing that study, then I researched Jesus. Once I found and researched Jesus, and I researched Jesus all the way back. He appeared as a Caucasian. All right. So when I got to that point, I said, wait a minute, if this is a Caucasian, you know, why am I praying to him when he don't look nothing like me? You know, and then the church told me, don't worry about the image. All right. Just worry about the man behind the image. I said, well, that image is just as important as the man speaking. All right. Because think about it. If I accept this person as my God, then everybody that look like him become my God. Exactly. You follow what I'm saying? Everybody look like him become my God, right? So then now I'm worshiping him. Not only am I worshiping him, I'm worshiping people that look like him, right? So that means that when they tell me to do something on the job, I'm going to obey them because they look like the God I'm praying to, right? So, right. And so after that, I kept studying, I kept asking for more clarity, right? And this a real testimony here. I'm gonna give you a real test, which is a test of our money, your hidden son. All right. I went to sleep one night, and when I went to sleep, I came out of my body. I had out the body experience for the first time, right? And when I had out the body being, these beings was
something about that because that's what I want to talk about next.
Yeah, we're gonna go into it. I had out of body experience, and these beings, appeared to me, right? And this is what they told me when I came out of my body. They said Jesus never came. He never existed. After they told me that, I was stuck. I couldn't go. I couldn't move. They held me down. I couldn't move. The reason why I couldn't move, I didn't know at the time because I was out of my body. I was not in my physical body. That's why I could not move. All right. So, then finally they let me go back in my body. So when I woke up out of my sleep, I went into my bathroom. I looked in the mirror and I said, "Is this so?" And some of my ears said, "Shh," really fast. And I went to church the next day and I just looked around at everybody. And at that point, people begin to come on my path. I begin to meet conscious people, and they begin to turn me on to certain books. And then I begin to get into certain books. Then I ran into the Nuwabians. That's why you see me with this symbol on now. When I ran into the Nuwabians, and they gave me a spill. Then I learned about Dr. Malachi York and all the stuff that he came with, right? And I learned about he was the Archangel Michael in this day and time, which is Tahuti. So when I learned these things, but let me rewind a little bit. I met a brother. He gave me the Aquarius Gospel of Christ. And in the Aquarius Gospel of Christ, it said that every 25,000 years, a reformer comes, this special person, right? So I took that piece and linked it to Dr. Malachi York, because every 25,000 years, he said Murdu come, Melchizedek come, and this particular being come, the Archangel Michael. So everything started lining up. So then as I was listening to this being, I said, wait a minute, this being right here is the Archangel Michael, right? I said, but the church told me angels don't come in human form. Right. But then when you start really reading the Bible, when you sit down and read, it tells you that angels appear in human form. Right. An angel appeared to Mary, Gabriel. Right. So in order for the angel to appear to Mary, he had to be in human form. Right. Because we know spirits don't have vocal cords. They can't communicate. Right. You actually can't communicate with a spirit because they don't have vocal cords. So me and his sister in the church, we got into a battle. She was supposed to be my consort at the time. You know, a sister I was with, she told me I was her husband. And the Most High told her I was her husband. Some shit, stuff like that. Some crap like that. You know how they be in the church. Oh, you my husband. The Most High told you my husband. So when I told her I seen the Archangel Gabriel in person, she told me angels don't come in human form. And she don't know what I'm talking about. The very next day, she's like, she want to break up. She don't want to be with me no more because I told her I saw an angel in human form. Wow. So it's kind of interesting. Wow. So my journey was long, man. It was a lot of testimonies here. And I kept getting confirmation. I was having messengers. By the way, when I first started waking up, this brother came in my path. He had an afro on his line was like way back there, like an extraterrestrial or something like that. And he stopped because I was in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for about 15 years. I was working for the transit system. So he saw me. He said, you're getting ready to go to the cosmos. You're getting ready to go to the cosmic knowledge. He said, be careful when you go over there. You know what I'm saying? And then he disappeared. Then he come back the next day. He said, I got a book for you. I'm ordering for you. The universe told me to give you a book. I said, what is that? He said, I'm going to give you a book on how to heal 100 ways. So he gave me this book on how to heal 100 ways. The very next week, it comes. I see him. Then I see him again. He say, he told me a story about a lighthouse. He said it was this boy one day. He was walking past this building. He saw this light shining out of this building. And every day he walked past, he stopped and stared at it. He was curious, but he never, walked up to the building. So he said he did this for several days and several weeks and several months. He said, so finally he got to the building and finally he decided to go to the building. When he walked towards the building, he proceeded towards the building. He got towards the door. He opened the door up. When he opened the door up, he looked inside and the stairs were spiral. So he said, hey, to himself, hey, I got this far. I came this far. Wait, why not continue to go? So he proceeded up the stairs. So finally he reached the middle of the stairs, right? And this is the story he told me. So when he get to the middle of the stairs, he said, well, he looked up. He said, I'm halfway here. I might as well proceed. So finally he reached the top, right? When he reached the top, he said, okay, cool. Finally, I made it. I reached the top. So I think I'm going to go back down. When he looked back down, there was no more stairs to go down. All right. So the message with him was, he said, when you get to the top, when you get to the upper room, meaning consciousness, when you become God, he said, you're going to want to go back down, but it's not going to be the same anymore. It's not going to even feel the same anymore. All right. It's going to be totally different once you wake up, once that third eye open up for real. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to be the same. So that was it. Then he disappeared. And then I ain't see him no more. Then he wound up in what's Hollywood, right? And then he called me. He said, I'm in the hospital. I'm getting ready to perform a service. He said, I'm getting ready to get surgery. He said, I need you to pray for me. But the whole time he was testing me. He gave me a book. I never seen this brother again. That's why I said that was an extraterrestrial. See, that's why I tell people all the time, extraterrestrials be around us all the time. We just not paying attention to it. He gave me a healing book. Yeah.
Can I tell you something real quick, man?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Now, before the religion shit, excuse my language. Before the religion, right?
You can talk. No, speak how you want to, man. You got you want to.
Yeah, I know. It just, people gonna be tuning in, listening. You know how people are. But basically, as I was growing up, right, I used to see things from the different realm. That's another reason why this podcast started. I used to see things from the different realms. Like one time, this is my first experience. I was a kid. I grew up poor. I got 4 brothers. One of them deceased. He moved on to a different realm. Let me say that. I grew up poor, so basically we really didn't have nothing. So we were sleeping on the floor one night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we sleeping on the floor, I goes to sleep. I close my eyes. A voice in my head says, "Don't open your eyes," but my eyes was already closed. I look up. It's an entity standing over me, and my whole body went numb. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. My mouth was like almost at a mumble. And as I'm doing like this, I finally got a scream out, and I screamed, and I woke my mom up. I woke all my brothers up. My brothers ran out the room. My mom came in there praying and, speaking in tongues and all of that. But ever since that day, I was seeing entities from different realms. It got to the point where the people from the churches had to come over to my house and put crosses up and everything. This is real. This is real stories. I'm not telling you no fake. This real. This really happened to me. This is my testimony.
Guess what? I feel it though. I feel it. I feel that.
Yeah, look, peep this though. My father was a philosopher. You know, he was a builder. You know, he always planted seeds in my mind. Since I was a child, he always planted seeds in my mind. He was never on religion. My father was never big on religion. You know, but he always planted seeds. And as I grew older, it was like more stronger, like the entities would come more stronger. And I had a vision one day that I would be in hip hop. I had a vision that I would go into hip hop and I would change the frequency of the music. So I started doing music and I started rapping. I started speaking to people and my gift just started growing. And ever since then, it's like I've been a seer and everything that I saw came to pass. I used to be chilling with people and I used to say, hey man, this finna happen. And that'll happen. And they'll be like, man, you just said that was finna happen. But I didn't know that it was my third eye already, you know, coming to open. And as I got older and learned about the pineal gland and started meditating, I started seeing different things. And people started saying like, you know, you crazy, this, that, because they couldn't understand that I was seeing things from different realms. I couldn't really function on the physical realm because I kept seeing, it was like the spiritual realm was trying to attach itself to me and I was trying to attach itself to it. And it was like I was losing consciousness in the physical realm. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Man, it was so crazy, man. And then, long story short, I ended up creating a podcast called When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop STL. And it's about everything that we talking about now in a different form. But everything I told you about me going into hip hop and everything, it came to pass. I rap now, I got a podcast, I do music, everything. But this ain't about music. It's just about the vision that I had from the beginning. You feel me?
Sure.
It's crazy, man. Like I said, I'm just a student.
Sure. Man, that's very heartfelt. That was a very heartfelt message there, test of our morning. And yes, a lot of us got a lot of
You there?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah. Somehow we froze. Yeah, somehow we froze a little bit.
Yeah, we good?
Yeah, I can still hear you. I don't see our face moving though. Maybe they kick back in. Yeah, it froze up.
You can't see me?
Yeah, I can still see you. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah. So that was how I felt there, man. And yeah, man, a lot of us got these different experiences and stuff like that that we can't explain to the average person. You know, one thing about spiritual stuff is it don't have a language, right? It doesn't have a language. That's why when things happen, when phenomenals happen to us spiritually, people say, explain it to me. All right. And we can only do the best we can to explain things to them in English. All right. Because our ancestors didn't speak English. All right. They spoke with tone and sounds and stuff like that. You know, it's like if I start saying, I'm in the love of the all, right? If I said in an ancient tone, you see how that sound? So that's a tone language. You see what I'm saying? And we spoke in tones and frequencies. That's why when you go to Uganda, right, or Uganda or the Congo, the San people over there, right, they speak with a click, right, because it's all about song and town. So that may mean sit down. This may mean I'm doing well. You know what I'm saying? So certain sounds meant different things, right? So when we get back into the more of our more ancient sounds, we'll start speaking with that click again, right? We'll start using all 43 face muscles because we got 43 face muscles. English don't allow us to use our 43 face muscles, right? That's why so many of us are docile. So many of us are lazy because of this, all right? So yeah, going back to the extraterrestrial experiences, right? Musha Mutatau, the extraterrestrials, right? A lot of us, without knowing it, we are extraterrestrials, or we are children of the extraterrestrials. These extraterrestrial beings called the Netaru in Egypt, or what we call Natharu today, right? They got different names like the Anunnaki, the Elohim, the Alihat, you know, the Rishi. They got these different names. They call these particular beings, right? But these were the beings that came down, right, from Sirius star system and Orion star system. That's why when you go to the Dogon tribe, they call the Sirius star system Botolo, all right? Botolo, right? And they said every what? I think 30 years or 60 years, it's a Singwi festival. They have a Sigi festival where they chant and go in a circle and stuff like that for the rising of Sirius, right? Right, you know, making subscription to that particular planet. They say their ancestors came from that planet, right? And that's what we say today. And Musabat, we saying that we are the Sabians, we are the Sirius star children, right, that came to this planet, right, so many millions and billion years ago, all right? But we fell so low, we forgot our way, all right? And we've been mixed in so much with so many different species, we lost our way. We don't know who we are anymore. That's why we the only people around the world searching for identity, all right? If you was to go up to the average sister and say, who are you? She don't know, all right? That's why she wearing wigs and weave and stuff like that, because she really don't know who she is, right? And when you start telling her who she is and then she start going into her natural look, guess what? She don't appreciate her natural look. She just, see the woman, the black woman, right? She think we don't like her in her natural look. Now that's half true. The reason why I say that, because you do got some dark-skinned brothers that don't like women with low haircuts and don't like them with afro. They've been so accustomed to seeing weave that that's the only thing they see as attractive.
My cousin just like that, man. My cousin don't like women with bald heads.
A woman with a bald head, fine as hell. I'm telling you, boy. Bang. Feel me? See, once you get back into your right stand, you'll be like, man, that's a goddess. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You see, let me tell you something. I had to use reverse alchemy on my own mind. I had to use black magic on my own mind. So when we read our holy tablets and all our books, the master teacher known as Dr. Malachi, he made all the pictures black. So guess what? He reversed the alchemy for us, right? Because all our life we have been seeing white people, right? So we didn't really know how to be ourselves, right? We didn't know how to look at ourselves as divine. So he came back and helped us change that, right? And if everybody that study, every Sabian I know that study in Nuwabian, in Moore, and everybody else has been a part of it in Hebrew Israelite, because he helped create those groups too as well, all right? They know that he had a great deal of changing the pictures in their mind's eye, all right? Because there was no one that came and changed those pictures. You know, Elijah Muhammad was very great. He showed us how to organize, right? He showed you how to build businesses and stuff like that. That's what they don't talk about Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad had businesses, right? Right, and that's why the Nation of Islam is the strongest moving organization to this day, right? Because he gave them discipline and he showed them how to organize, right? And then he showed them how to build big business actions. That's why they're the only group that's still surviving and everybody else is not, right? Because them brothers have a lot of order and discipline, all right? The more scientific and strong too, but it's a lot of confusion now, right? Even with us as Sabians, it's still a lot of confusion. See what I'm saying? Even now, we the only person that got the strongest culture. We the first people to come in with the dress code. There's nobody, no Nagar or black person or black group on the planet that has as much culture as we does. We have the language, we have the dress, all right? We have a dance, right? We have it all. We have our own books. We ain't reading nobody else's book. We have our own books and stuff like that. So we the only people on the planet that's doing that right now at this time. You know, and it's your stuff. It's all our stuff. The worst thing we can do is separate ourselves from our own stuff. That's what they want you to do. Separate yourself from your own stuff. I know yeah.
Could you say like all the religion came from ancient Egypt? I mean, ancient Kemet and can we talk about Atlantis after this? But did everything come from Egypt?
Yes, everything came from Egypt. All your religions come from Egypt. All your great religions come from Egypt. All right. So you know, down to the Bible story, right? All that comes from Egypt, right? I got a board here. Let me see something here. So Mary and Jesus and the Father in heaven, I'm going to show you who they are up in Egypt. All right. Go down to the board and kind of show here. This is who they are, right? To let you know this is where all this come from, right? And so Mary, so you got Jesus, which he become, right? Jesus become Hawar, right? And and you got Asar, right, which is your father in heaven, right, and then you got Arastat, which is Mary. All right. So Arastat is what they call him Isis. That's a Greek word, right? So this is your true Holy Trinity right here. Let me see if I can turn that right there. So this is your true Holy Trinity, right? You see that right there? So you got Hawa, like this.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Can you see it? Or this way? Or this way? Can you see it? Or you want to turn this way?
Little bit.
Right here?
No,
okay.
The other way.
See, so that's hard.
There you go.
This way?
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
That's good? All right. Yeah. So that's hard. Havar, Elsar is the father, and Arastat is Mary. That's the mother. Right? Yeah. So when you look at this, Asar, he becomes the Orion belt. All right. So if you go to Matthew 6, when Jesus said, "Our Father who art in heaven," right? When you look at the word heaven, you got to trace it back because the New Testament was translated from Greek, right? So you got to look at the word Greek, heaven for Greek. Find the word heaven for Greek. You can look it up on Google, and it's going to say this. All right, it's going to say Oranos. All right, it's going to say Oranos. See? Okay. That's the word for heaven in Greek. So when he said, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name," he's talking about, when you go to Hebrew, it becomes Orion, the Orion belt. So when you look up the Orion belt on Google, it's a man. It's in the shape of a man, right? Lined up. Yeah. That's your father in heaven, Asar. That's your heavenly father. All right. So it is a heavenly father. It's just not in a sense in the way we've been given it, the way we've been given it. The heavenly father becomes Asar. All right. Then the trick here is the Holy Spirit, right? In this case, the Holy Spirit came to Mary, right? And if you go on to begin the Matthews, it said Gabriel showed up to Mary, right? And he told her she was going to give birth to a son, and this is what you should call his name, right? So, and then it said he gave her something. What it said? It said he gave her a seed, Zerah. So he planted a seed in her. So actually, he had the angel Gabriel had sex with Mary, planted the seed with her, and they gave birth to Yeshua or Jesus. All right. So the Holy Spirit in their scripture become Gabriel. Now this the trick here. All right. Well, they never talk about this, but this is what it is. So when we look at Gabriel, and then Arabic, so that's Gabriel, right? See, that's Gabriel, right? Or in Arabic they say Jibrael, right? So you got to break the word down. You get Gab, that's one word. Now Gab is an Egyptian word. Gab represents the earth deity. Okay, and then you got Ra, because you got to break his whole name down. Ra in Egypt is another Egyptian word, right, which means sun. And then you got El, right? El means source or the Most High. Okay. So that's why all your source, your energies come from the source, right? The omnipresent. All right. So his name break down to mean earth, sun, and the source itself. All right. But he became that Holy Spirit. And Jesus' real father is really Gabriel. All right. Now, when you go in the Bible, it say Joseph adopted Jesus. He was not actually his father. He was his adopted father. Right. But also in the scripture, they tell you that Mary already had children too before Jesus, because she wasn't a virgin. Because when Jesus was teaching in the temple, he said the people came to him in the temple and said, listen, he said, your brothers and your mothers out there. Why would they mention his brothers and his sisters out there if he was the only child, if she was a virgin? Because what they are saying is that she was not a virgin. All right. So this whole virgin birth came from Egypt, where, because Asar was killed by his brother Set, right? And Set is associated with the devil today. That's where they get Satan from, Set, which is a deity from Egypt called Set. right? He was the brother of Asar. So what happened is he fell in love with Aset or Isis, which is a Rastat today, and he wanted her, so he couldn't get her. So he killed his brother for her. All right. He killed Asar, chopped him up into 14 pieces. All right. So what happened is Rastat gathered all the bodies of Asar, pieced them back together, and his sperm or his spirit came and impregnated her. Okay, that's that whole misconception of that birth right here, right, taking place. And then they gave birth to a son, right, without him actually physically being there. They become Harar or Horus. All right, the same story that happened with Mary. All right, it's a name for it. I forget, mitro. It comes to me as a word they call that, what they call a 3-part birth, right? Where you got the angel, a man, and the woman. They all mix their blood in together and give part to a 3-part birth. It's called 3-part birth, where you give birth to a child. So Jesus was involved with a 3-part birth. He had an angel there, Joseph there, and Mary. All right. Joseph's sperm was used as a carrier to carry the angel sperm to the womb or the fetus of Mary. You get what I'm saying? To give birth to that holy child. He couldn't give birth to, you needed an angel or celestial being to bring in another divine being, right? Yeah, a regular man or mortal couldn't do that. They couldn't bring in a holy seed. Even though all of this is mythology, but what we have to take in consideration is that even though it's mythology, it's real in a sense too. All right, because we see these phenomena happening every day, right? How you think Michael Jordan was born? How you think Michael Jackson was born? All right, right. That's some type of divine extraterrestrial intervention. You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh yeah, yeah. Our face I froze up. That's some type of divine extraterrestrial intervention, right? So that's it. So the mother is Mary, which Mary is associated with the moon. All right. So she, in a sense, she become the moon, or also a Rastat can be the Sirius star system. It's a feminine star system. All right. It's a feminine star system. All right. That's where females come from, the Sirius star system. All right. So even when Jesus in the Bible say, I am from above, you are from below, he's saying he's from the Orion belt, right? The Orion belt have 3 stars in the center of it that line up with the three pyramids in Giza, right? So Jesus is making subscription to that star system. He said, I'm from the Orion belt, which we call Masa'ah or Mas'ah, all right? That's where he come from. That's where our ancestors come from, right? So even with them telling us a fairy tale story, the most divine being still come from where we come from. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
They still made subscriptions of this divine being coming from our home planet, because that's where we come from, right? Before we became physical beings, we was Etherian beings, all right? Okay, so yeah, so that's like, this your trend.
Is that like 360 degrees physical and 360 degrees spiritual?
Yeah. That's 720, right? A masculine can't be 720 because we missing the stem. The woman is 720 degrees because she got both X's. We missing the stem. That's why you got a Y.
Okay.
That Y means that you're missing a leg or a stem, right?
Okay.
So the male is a degenerative female. You got breasts like a female, but you can't breastfeed. You have a stomach, but you can't give birth. You don't have a womb.
Exactly.
All right. The phallus or the penis is an external vagina. All right. It's extended out. Right. So you have all the same parts on her body she have. Yours just extended and hers are not. All right. So right, male and female is the same thing.
The woman was here before we was here.
Right. The woman existed before for eons. These were just for 1,000 years. All right. What happened is, on this planet, the woman was asexual, right? Asexual means that you can reproduce without a male, okay? What makes her asexual is she had a gland in her body called a Bartholin gland, right? This Bartholin glands here, all right, that's what it's called. So you can look it up. Bartholin gland is Bartholin, Bartholin, all right? Okay. That Bartholin glands was equivalent to the bulba erectile glands in the male. All right. Okay, so this bulbal erectile gland is secrete a thin milky fluid, right? It secrete a thin milky fluid, right, which is called semen, right? So the Podolin gland, before she fell in love with her son, which is us, she could reproduce herself. All right. So the planet that we on right now was a female planet in the beginning of time, right? Isn't it amazing that you see a lot of people being born, males being born with female spirits and females being born with male spirits? Because in the beginning, this planet was a neutral planet. All right. You have neutral gender, meaning that you got a male, he's a male, but he has a female spirit. And you have a female, she's a female, but she have a male spirit inside of her. That's a male inside of that body. All right. That's why now talk to me now. If you get around some type of person they call a dyke or a lesbian, when you talking to her, don't she feel like one of the homies? Don't she feel like one of the brothers? Exactly, because she is a hermaphrodite in energy. All right. So when they think about hermaphrodite, thinking about genital. All hermaphrodites don't have double genders or genitals. All right. Some of them just have the spirit of a hermaphrodite and a hermaphrodite. Right. How can we back that up with ancient Egypt? When you go back to ancient Egypt, you got Tutankhamun, right, which they call King Tut. He was a hermaphrodite. He was dual nature. All right. That's why he looked like a woman and a male at the same time. You notice that on the pyramid? He kind of looked feminine. All right. Even though he a male. His mother was Nefertiti, which we call Nefertiti, which means twice beautiful. She was also a hermaphrodite. His father was Ankh Antun, right? Ankh Antin or Ankh Atun, which is Akhenaten, which they call Akhenaten, right? And Ankh Antun, that's how you really say it. He also was a hermaphrodite. All right. So back in those days, the hermaphrodite and hermaphrodite had to mate together in order to give birth to another hermaphrodite. All right. So so no, because you're a hermaphrodite don't mean you're gonna lay with a man. They don't want to lay with me and you. A true hermaphrodite or a hermaphrodite don't want to lay with me and you. They want to lay with their own kind. They lay with their own kind. Now, if you find yourself attracted to those people, that means that because of the mixing, I mean you have a characteristics of, you have some of the genes of the neutrinoids, those neutral beings. You see what I'm saying? In fact, me and you used to be a neutral being in the beginning. All right. We split our genes in order to separate the gender. Right. So what happened is we gave birth to the third gene, which was Dravidian Indian. The Dravidian Indian gave birth to a second gene, and they separated the genes. And then you got male and female start being born, right? Then these particular beings that came here, then they start taking those beings and mixing them in with darker beings to bring about a separation in the species, right? But the thing about it is you have a hermaphrodite looking like a man and woman at the same time with an afro. He put makeup on, he put lipstick on, nails on, and everything. That was freaky back in ancient Egypt back in those days. All right. But that was normal for us. Now, if you see somebody walking around like a man walking around like that, now you're like, man, what the hell wrong with him? He lost his damn mind. Why are you dressing up like a woman? Why are you cross-dressing? He's not really cross-dressing. He's a hermaphrodite. I got a good friend of mine that's like that. I was like, man, no, he ain't like that. Sister, like, why your friend dressed up like a cross-dresser? And then he came to me and said, man, I remember when you told me I was a golden child. And then he started to embrace it. But guess what? He liked makeup. He liked to wear makeup and this. That's my brother, though. I love him. But he got the hermaphrodite energy. There's nothing you can do about that. He's a gatekeeper. All right. That's scary for religion because they don't have nowhere to teach that in the Bible. There's nowhere in the Bible explaining about the gatekeepers. So what happened to the Bible? It's forfeited now. It's expired because you can't explain to me why these beings are being born right now. All you can tell me in the Bible is that it's an abomination. Now look at this trick right. Obama in a nation. See the spell? Obama was a president in a nation. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Comes from a woman.
That's crazy. Man, you just dropped some jewels, man.
Right? A nation just come from, so Obama nation. So Obama is if it's Obama nation, was Obama homosexual? Is that what y'all telling us? That he's practicing homosexuality? That's what they say, like they saying, right? They got him in a book. And we know that these books are nothing but time traveling books. So they mean they got, listen, they got technology where they can go into a time machine, man, and see what's going to happen in the future, man. They got this technology for real. This is not a game. They're not just making these movies, man. They have this technology. You know what I'm saying? I seen a video where they actually said they took Obama into a time machine right? And they showed him he was going to be the president before he became the president. He was like 14 and 15 years old. So when he found out he was going to be the president, he had to go to Harvard. They started training him and educating him on how to be a president. All right. None of this stuff happens by chance. They already know who's going to be the president before it happened. The Simpsons told you that Trump was going to be the president before he became the president. Am I right or wrong? Go look at The Simpsons on YouTube. Right? They showed you. Right? And then they got an episode now where they're showing you in 2024, Trump's daughter is going to run for president. Check that out.
Oh yeah,
his actual daughter is going to run, and she's supposed to be the next female. She's supposed to be the first female president. Trump's daughter. They got it there. I mean, these people are not playing games. They showing you. They could they in the time machine. They manipulating time machines. But I mean, all that for what?
Now I got
the time is up.
I got a question for you.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, is the city of Shambhala real?
Oh, Shambhala? Yeah, Shambhala is in the inner earth. It's in the center. Yeah, Shambhala. It means the balsam of Allah. That's what it means. Shambhala, it really means the balsam of Allah. All right. Or the balsam of Allah, the beauty of Allah, right? So it's dealing with, balsam. So going back to it, so Shambhala is in the inner earth. Some people call it Angurta. All right. So in the center of our earth, we have beings living down there, called Shambhala, right? It's other beings. They're earthlings too. They just live in the inner earth, all right? In the center of the earth, you have a core, right? Which when you look at the word core, when you break it down, you get Ko and Re, right? The sun. Re in Egypt represents the sun, or the rays coming from Ra, the sun, all right? So the planet Earth has a central sun in the center of it, right? A center sun, a core sun, right? So that's why you think in the summertime when you take your shoes off and you step on the ground is what? Hot. You think that heat is coming from the sun in the sky, right? But it's not.
It's coming
because
from
let's look at heat.
Sun in the ground.
Right. Why? Because heat, what? What does heat do? Heat rises. You see? Heat rises. All right. Heat rises. All right. Actually, people will say, the sun in the sky makes it hot. The sun in the sky, all right, doesn't make it hot. It's the sun in the center of our earth that makes it hot. As that sun in the sky move closer, those suns merge together and then the sun become hot. All right. So we already have two suns on the planet. All right. That's why we explained too in the books. Master explained Myth from Planet Riz that we came from a 3-star galaxy, a tri-solar system, a planet with 3 suns. And everybody thought this was nuts. He was nuts. What? How can a planet have 3 suns? Just think about it, right? I'm gonna drop a jewel down. If you go to John 1, it said, the light shine in darkness, and the darkness comprehend is not. This light is the light that's shining in every man and every woman, right? So if this light is shining in a dark place and it's shining in every man and every woman, where is that light shining at in this dark place? It stands to reason. The only dark place I know that's inside of man and woman is the body. Inside the body, there's no light. Right? So if it is a light down there in their body, what does it become? Let's look at it. Look at it now. It said that blacks or Nagaru, we the only people on the planet that have a soul, right? Soul, S-O-U-L, right? Let's drop the U. And then you get soul, S-O-L. That's a Latin word. When you trace that word back to Latin.
Solar.
There you go. It means sun. So your soul is a sun inside of you. Right? You got an inner sun inside of you burning, right? And this sun, and it shine, and then light shine in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. That darkness is so great, it can't comprehend that light that's shining.
Wow.
You see? So why you think when you see somebody, you see an aura around them, right? Look at the sun in the sky. Don't the sun in the sky has an aura too? Right?
Yeah.
So in order for you to have an aura, you have to be giving off some type of light, some type of radiant energy in order to have an aura. Right? That's why you think in the church they say this person is anointed. What makes that person anointed? It's aura. right? You can look at a person and say, that person got the light. They shining. You ever see somebody say, that person shining right there. They got it. You see what I'm saying? You're anointed. When they speak, you can hear it in their voice. That's how you know your solar plexus is activated, because it's a certain tone you're going to give off. It's people's going to resonate with people, because that's why Yeshua, Jesus, in here, I'm just giving you some esoteric stuff. That's why Jesus said what? He said, my sheep know me by my voice, right? Because it's a certain tone you're going to give off when you've been activated. All right, you're going to be able to track certain people. I think Martin Luther King said, I had a dream, and he drawed all those people in, because his solar plexus was burning at the time. He did become the Most High. He was the Most High at that time. That he became the Most High. You see, and he had to go. You know why he had to go? He was powerful. What you gonna do? I mean, first of all, he got the whole planet on their feet. All right, there's nothing you can do at that point. All right, he had every race on the planet on their feet. Right, so the elite people got afraid of him. They said, well, he got to go immediately. He must go now. He got to go. We got to get him out here quick, because we ain't gonna have no power if we keep him out here too long. You see, because what King was gonna do, he's gonna get in there and start changing laws. Right? What people didn't know is Martin Luther King was trying to get our land back. He realized that we was exiled in our own land. He said it. He said, we exiled in our own land. What does that mean? What that meant is, you didn't come from Africa. You know what I'm saying? You was already at home already. Yeah, I told you a lie. I told you came from Africa, but you was at home. He found out he was at home. I mean, of course, it ain't no secret now. We know we at home now. You know, but for years they bamboo. It don't matter now. They don't care if we tell you the truth now. They really don't care. It don't matter no more, because they feel like they got this planet under control.
Is it true that we should claim our nationality as Moors?
I mean, right now in this day and time, we known as Sabaeans. Yes, you're a Moor too. You're still a Moor. You're still a Native American. Yes, you claim your strong. Say you're a Moor. Say you're a Sabaean. Say that, right? What we was taught is by the Grand Potentate is that we're indigenous to the whole entire planet. So we don't make subscriptions just for America. We're from India. We're from Africa. All right. We're from China. We're from Asia. We're from Europe. Right? We from South America. We from North America. Right? We make claim to everything on the planet. We indigenous to all the whole planet. All right. That's what we are. We're indigenous to this entire planet. All right. So we don't just make a subscription to one location. The whole planet is ours.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? The whole planet is yours. So you can claim this side of the planet. Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible maybe you can help me do that, or do y'all do that in y'all organization?
I mean, yeah. If you come into it's a tribe. If you come into the tribe, I don't know what they're doing now. I got to see. Yeah, but we should be getting the IDs back up and running. You just come to the tribe. The tribe it's your stuff. It ain't really nothing you have to sign up for. It's our culture. You just come in and buy the books and start reading the books and get familiar with the culture. And then, and of course, we got our own. You see my crown here. We got a Sabaean outfit too. That I got some coming too. I got to put all my attire on. You get your attire, start reading the books, and you teach them. You read and teach.
All right.
First you have to get an understanding of yourself to come into it. All right. We have our own constitution too. All right. Know this too. The Moors and the Hebrew Israelites are no different from us. We all the same people. We just dealing with different parts of the Akash records. Okay. At one point we was Moors. At one point we was Hebrews. All right. The Moors actually, as Moors, we created the Hebrews. We created that school. All right. Okay. So we was dealing with Islam, and we was dealing with Hebrewism. All right. Those were fraternal orders back in the day when the Moors created it. All right. They were sacred fraternal orders, and we used those fraternal orders to go into civil societies to make power moves. All right. So if your society was Islam, what we did is we became Muslims for you, right? To build a relationship with you, we became a Muslim or Muslim. All right. That's how we moved as deities back in the day. We look at the planet and we look at the species on the planet, and whatever they're practicing, we go in and learn their culture and we become what they are. Right. So the same thing that we did in the ancient days, the pacoso or the Patineka, the Laban Salau, they took our same customs and they practicing the same thing we practice. Every culture they go in a culture and adopt that culture. Right. Where did they get that? Where did they get that idea of adopting other people's cultures from? They got that from the Moors. They got that from us. That's Moors. All right. They got that ideal from us. That's what we did. We always went in cultures and adopted culture, and then we became a part of that culture, and then we resurrected it for the people. All right. So what did we do in this day and time when the Grand Potentate came? Baba Yanun, he came and took us through all these different schools of thought. So he made us. We had to go in those schools of thought, transform those schools, and then come up out of them, and then go into another school. We went into those schools. We became Islamic Nubian Hebrews. Went into that school so we can tap into the Nubian, the Islamic people, and the Hebrew people. Right. Then we became Ansars. So we became pure like Muslims in that sense, Ansars. Right. So we went into that particular school to resurrect those people. Then we became the Nubian Moors, Nation of Moors. Then we went into that particular school thought to resurrect those individuals, right? We went in there to make friends with people, right? But the whole time he was showing us too that we were a powerful people, right? That you was not actually just human. You know what I'm saying? You had a celestial part to your being that you didn't know about. All right. So you terrestrial mean you physical, and you celestial mean you come from the stars. All right. So yes, you can claim you're more. You are more too. You can claim that more. If you want to be Hebrew Israelite, you can do that too. You know, but those are nothing but old schools or old pieces of the Akashic Record. The Akashic Record is the divine condition of the human species on the planet. It's a divine condition of the human being on the planet. Right. So when you read the Tanakh or the Torah, that's a part of the Akashic Records. When you read the Baha Maratha, that's a part of the Akashic Records. When you read Zoroastrianism, that's the part of when you read all those different books, the Kaaba, the Kabbalah, all those different things you're reading about every spiritual system, Taoism, those are nothing but smaller pieces from the Akashic Records, what we call Pakasha Sajala. All right. The conditional records of the human being. That's what it means.
Okay. Well, right. That pretty much sums up this episode, man. I appreciate you coming on the platform. I appreciate the jewels you just dropped. I appreciate the knowledge. You know, all praises to the Most High. You know. I shall. Yeah, hopefully, you know, I can tune in with you and you know, go further with this journey, man. That's really what I'm on. I ain't
yes, man. Well, I can always be a host.
Huh?
Right. No, yeah, keep going. Yeah.
I ain't here to just soak up energy. I'm really here to learn, you know?
Yeah. Listen, you use your platform. Look, I write. I'm a writer too. Of course, I'm working on a few books. I'm working on the Subconscious Mind book. Be on the lookout for that. It's called The Lower Financial Mind, the LFM. All right. Be on the lookout for that too. I'm working on that right now. Also, if you would like to purchase some of my Spirulina Gold, just inbox me at Nysut, or if you want IG, inbox me as Haya Coin Sahel 22. All right, I got Spirulina Gold. The benefits of this is it allows you to lucid dream, it enhance your brain concentration, activate your neurotransmitter. All right. And also, if you have a problem sleeping, it also helps improve sleep patterns so that you can produce more melatonin so that you can go to sleep and dream and go into the astral realm. This thing is going to allow you to go into the astral realm so you can pick up information or information and bring it back. You become more creative. I got a lot of good reviews on it. My sister, she just partnering up with me.
Can you show that again so they can see that one more time?
All right. So this is the Spirulina Gold. It's kind of froze on my end. It's Spirulina Gold here. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So this is Spirulina Gold here. You can purchase this from me. Just inbox me at Nysut, all right, on Facebook, or if you're on IG, inbox me at Higher Corn Sahel 22. All right, this is Spirulina Gold. Once you inbox me, I'll tell you the prices once you inbox me. All right. I keep the prices out of the conversation because, like I said, we don't know people budget right now. I don't know your financial situation, and I don't want to discourage you because I really want to get this Spirulina Gold to you. All right. This Spirulina Gold was divinely inspired by the Mozaku. All right. The Mozaku is a group of risky and ancient elder beings that come from the 19th galaxy, and they come from a planet called Rizq, the 8th planet. All right. So they inspired me to make this formula for us in this day and time. It's just not for us. You can be whoever you are. You can be a timer. You can be whatever, right? If you want it, you can purchase it. All right. We're not biased. We're here actually to raise the frequency or the vibration, Mikwalat and Tazazat of the planet Earth, right? Mikwak Taha. All right. So that's what we're here to do, to raise the vibration of all people on the planet. All right. But of course, we also came for our children. Our children are the Nagaru Salau, all right, the Negro species and Negro race, all right, all right. So we came for them world over, all right. So just go ahead. I appreciate you inviting me on your platform and stuff like that. There's more to come. Be looking out for me, family. If you want to tune in to me, just tune in to me at Nysut on Facebook, and also tune in with me on IG as Higher Coin Sahel 22. All right. As I always say, Higher Coin Sahel, life is easy, right? We already won. The one who works the hardest win, right? And it's already yours.
All right, peace, love, and light.
All right, Wadu.
You good? Hold on.